Welcome to the lesson on nutrition in plants. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the modes of nutrition in plants and explain the importance of photosynthesis. We know where to get our nutrients from. We get them from food, right? Be it vegetables, fruits, or meat. Have you noticed that most of the animals that we consume as meat depend on plants for their nourishment? So, we can conclude that we are all directly or indirectly dependent on plants for our nutrition. But where do plants obtain their nutrients from? To understand the various modes by which plants obtain their nutrition better, let's first take a look at your classroom. I used to hate it when teachers would ask me to show my homework. For some reason, this activity used to divide our class into 4 distinct groups. The first group consisted of those who used to do their homework on their own. The second group consisted of bullies who used to snatch homework books from the kids in the first group. The third group consisted of those who used to copy homework from the kids in the first group. And the fourth group consisted of kids who used to get their homework done in exchange for favors. The mode of nutrition can be similarly divided into 4 distinct modes. Broadly speaking, plants can be divided into autotrophs, similar to the kids who did their own homework. These plants make their own food. And heterotrophs, similar to the other 3 groups. These plants depend on others to provide them with nourishment. These heterotrophic plants can be further divided into parasites, similar to bullies, saprophytes, similar to kids who copy from others, and symbiotic plants, similar to kids who get their homework done from others in exchange for favors. The first mode we refer to consisted of autotrophs or plants that prepare their own food. Most green plants fall under this group. To understand how they produce their own food, let's peek inside the kitchen. Observe how your mom prepares a dish. She collects all the ingredients and mixes them together one after the other. See how she uses either a gas burner or microwave as a source of energy. Similarly, in plants, the green pigments called chlorophyll collect simple substances like water and salts from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and using sunlight as a source of energy, convert the simple substances into complex food for the plant. This process is called photosynthesis. The word photosynthesis is derived from 2 words. Photo, meaning light, and synthesis, which means to combine. Leaves are the food factories of a plant. However, other parts of the plant play important roles too. The roots help by absorbing water and minerals from the soil. The stem or trunk helps by conducting water and minerals to the leaves. However, the actual process of photosynthesis takes place in the leaves. If we take a section of the leaf, we see that it is a complex structure divided into a number of layers. The uppermost and lowermost layers are called the upper and lower epidermis. They are protected by a thin layer of cuticle. the lower epidermis has openings called stomata, surrounded by the guard cells. The stomata take in carbon dioxide from the air. The area above the lower epidermis is called the vein. It contains vessels that bring water and minerals to the leaf. Above this is the layer containing palisade cells containing green pigments called chlorophyll, which capture energy from sunlight and use it to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. The byproducts are oxygen and water, which are released through stomata during daytime. This food that has been made is sent to other parts of the plant through the veins. Thus, we can say that during the process of photosynthesis, energy from the sun is captured to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugar and oxygen by the chlorophyll. All chlorophyll-containing plants, including algae, and some plants with red, brown, or other dominant pigment, make food using this process. Can you guess why the sun and trees are called the lifeline of our planet? Without energy from the sun, plants will not be able to make food through photosynthesis. And if photosynthesis does not take place, we won't have enough oxygen and food to sustain life on Earth. Thus, both sunlight and trees are essential to sustain life on Earth. As we saw, during photosynthesis, plants produce food in the form of glucose. This is then converted into complex compounds called carbohydrate like starch, cellulose, etc. Plants also prepare proteins with the help of nitrogen, which is obtained from the soil. Are you wondering how the nitrogen got into the soil? Microorganisms present in the soil play an important role in fixing atmospheric nitrogen. They convert atmospheric nitrogen into water-soluble compounds, which are absorbed by the plant roots. These minerals dissolved in the water are used to synthesize proteins and fats. These food components form the source of energy for other heterotrophic plants and animals. Sometimes, green plants are not able to obtain all the ingredients required to prepare food from their surroundings. In such cases, they develop special adaptive features that help them survive. One such special case is the insectivorous mode of nutrition in plants, such as the pitcher plant and the Venus flytrap. Due to a lack of nutrients like nitrogen and other minerals in the soil, their leaves are modified to form a trap with hairy walls that can capture insects. Once an insect enters the trap, the lid closes and the prey gets entangled in the hair. The plant then digests its prey to obtain the required nutrients. Heterotrophic plants don't have chlorophyll and are unable to produce food using the process of photosynthesis. They obtain food from other plants by following either a parasitic, saprophytic, or some other form of symbiotic relation with them for food. Like bullies snatching homework from other kids, some plants, like the cascuta, snatch food from other plants by climbing on them. The plants on which they climb are called hosts. Since they deprive the host plant of valuable nutrients, the plant itself is called parasitic. In doing so, they often harm the host plant. Similar to students who copy their homework from others, some plants obtain their nutrition from decaying organic matter. They secrete digestive juices onto dead and decaying matter, and then absorb the nutrients from it. This mode of nutrition, in which organisms take in nutrients in solution form from dead and decaying matter, is called saprotrophic nutrition. Plants which use a saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Most plants belonging to the fungi category are saprophytes. They reproduce using spores that are released in the air. And when these spores land on suitable surface, they germinate and grow into a new fungus. Similar to the happy-go-lucky students who get their homework done in exchange for favors, some organisms live together and share shelter in exchange for nutrients. Such an arrangement is called a symbiotic relationship. For example, crops require a lot of nitrogen to make proteins. Though nitrogen is available in plenty in the atmosphere, plants cannot use it in the same way they use carbon dioxide. They need nitrogen in water-soluble form. Now, a bacterium called rhizobium helps plants by taking atmospheric nitrogen and converting it into a soluble form. However, rhizobium cannot make its own food. So, it forms a symbiotic relationship with plants like gram, peas, mung beans, and other legumes. It lives in their roots and provides them with nitrogen. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Thus, this symbiotic relationship is mutually beneficial to both the plants and the bacteria. Congratulations! You have successfully completed this lesson on nutrition in plants. You will now be able to identify the mode of nutrition in plants and explain the importance of photosynthesis.